Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies, how the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. OriginClear provides water treatment solutions worldwide, and they call themselves the first clean water innovation hub. And with me is CEO Eckelberry and Ken Berenger, the Executive Vice President, co-creator of Water on Demand.
Correct.
And I'm going to have a lot to talk to you guys about because I've actually been watching the water market for a while, but let's just start with what is the current state of the water industry? I feel like we take water for granted, but we really shouldn't. So, Riggs, could you start with that?
Well, the real question is what water market, right? It's all one big governmental monopoly being served by large water companies and a few mom and pops. That's basically it. Unfortunately, it's going very badly. You've been hearing about Flint, Michigan, Jackson, Mississippi, Compton, California. Notice that they're all poor places, and that's part of the problem. So water is actually a big problem. Why? It's underfunded. By $100 billion each year, it's falling behind. And what's going on? Business, industry, and agriculture is using most of the water, 90%. And then we're telling the rest of the people, well, you better take short showers. Excuse me. Industry and agriculture is part of the problem, but guess what? They're also part of the solution. And that's why we're here.
So explain your solution. How does it work then?
Okay, it's very simple. First of all, miniaturization. We have these amazing, compact, modular water systems. And by the way, 100% American, no supply chain problems. So we're killing it right now, believe me. Secondly, we have the finance solution, and this is where Ken and I created this thing called Water on Demand, which is a way for investors to go in. This is the only place investors can invest in a productive water asset, is right here, where they put their money into typically like a master limited partnership with oil wells, just about to say that, right? And it goes in to this bucket, and they get residuals, long-term, as well as stock in the mother company, us, and stock in this new finance vehicle, Water on Demand. So they get the best of all worlds, plus some warrants. Why are we being so generous? Because this is the beginning, and we're only going to do a limited amount of funding this way, because we need the pilot plants. We have the technology, we have the money, we're now rolling it out. Well, rolling these things out is like building a housing development. It takes time. While that's happening, we're being super generous. If you're accredited, it's the way to go, because you only have, as I say, there's really no opportunities. Our competitors are in the venture capital world, or they're being run by JP Morgan. You can't invest in them.
Yeah, well, and we've talked about how it's difficult to find a place to invest in water. There's like 3 places where you can,
Right, and they have limited growth, and they grow like they just absorb smaller companies. If you want to get geeky and do a Star Trek reference, they're the Borg. They just keep they keep absorbing smaller companies. The idea of globalized water as a service didn't work until some of our innovations. So there are companies that do it very, very well. So the miniaturized systems that Riggs is talking about, we know have worked magnificently because our business units have been selling them for decades, right?
And we tripled our business last year.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no secret that this works, okay? And this is well-adopted technology that any engineer is going to be happy to have. We can discuss about how this makes consulting engineers' lives incredibly good in a second, but I wanted, so the idea that water as a service didn't work on a globalized scale simply because these massive systems were being supplied to, entire islands were desalinating water using a per gallon, and it works great, but they're big systems dug into the ground. So the risk to the water service provider, they had to be perfect borrowers, perfect credit, giant companies or municipalities that could not default on the system, because if they did, you're not going to show up with a giant earth mover, dig out, it's a total loss to the water service provider. Only through this drag in, drag out modality that we've created did we create a movable asset, a movable or removable asset. So if the customer went out of business, you just take it away. You know, businesses that happens, right? Now it's not a total loss. All right? So we can do that pay per gallon thing. It could be a smaller end user, and if let's just say they have somewhat shaky credit, it would be something along the lines of maybe doing some additional security deposits.
Well, it's a rent-to-center model.
Right.
Okay.
You're basically renting the machine, which is a very much lower credit requirement, right?
I see.
You're paying as you go. You stop paying, sorry, machine goes away.
Okay.
Now you're in trouble with the city because you're back where you were.
Yeah. So finally, let's wrap it up with how can investors find out more about the company and learn more about it that you're doing actually?
Very simple. OriginClear.com, and there's a big green Invest Now button. Okay. And the good news is that we will soon have an offering for unaccredited investors. It's in the works, but in the meantime, we're welcoming, accredited investors who are interested. The new thing is income-bearing assets, and this one's just at the beginning of its run, and we're very excited about our new investors.
Okay. I mean, it's a very interesting company and addressing a need that's out there. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here at Grove Coin, we're opening doors, building strong and blazing our own trail. We're combining a complete digital finance ecosystem with cutting-edge sustainable technology to create a new kind of hybrid business. We believe in a healthier future, and that virtual currencies built with trust, integrity, and purpose can help us all reach that future together. Grove Coin. Be a part of the innovators, be a part of the visionaries, be a part of the future.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. AdVerify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Zenith Prep Academy has spent the last 15 years perfecting the college admissions strategy by giving guidance, having worked with more than 1,000 families, both nationally and internationally. And with me is Kevin Hong, the program director at Zenith Prep Academy. So, of course, I told you I have a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old, so I'm right in the middle of what you do. But it's never been harder, right, for a kid to get into the college that they prefer. So what does Zenith do to help them in that process?
Sure, I'm glad you asked that. I think every single year more and more students apply to college, and last year, to no one's surprise, there was a record-breaking number of applicants. And so given how competitive things are in today's current college admissions environment, I think the most important thing that we do for these parents and students is really taking them from reactive to proactive so they can take control of the admissions process. It's hard to stand out to these universities if you're just doing the same things as everyone else, and so the focus that we've always had here is really working with each student and understanding their strengths both in and outside the classroom, because ultimately that's what helps them stand out in the admissions process.
Now you have worked with, I said, 1,000 families. So, I mean, you must have a track record of success, and there's a lot of word of mouth, I assume. What do you attribute your success to? Sure, I think bottom line, we get these parents and students results. And I think a large part of that is not just giving them peace of mind, but also comfort as they go through the process. There's so many unknowns when it comes to college admissions. And so by being able to take them through the process, not only are we able to set the right expectations, but also give them a proven roadmap that we know is going to work. Yeah, and then what makes you different from some of the other? There's quite a few college prep organizations out there. How is Zenith different? I think the standard approach out there is to optimize for the university, and the approach that we've always taken here is to really optimize for the student. I think it's easy to say, here are some top universities, here's a checklist of things to do, it's just 1, 2, 3, there's like some kind of template out there, right? But the reality is that each student is really inherently different from another, and so the focus has always been to really work with the student, right? Figure out what they're good at, help them double and triple down on their strengths, because that's what college is ultimately
ultimately want to see. They want to see a student that knows what they want, right, can get really good at something and really focus on that.
What kind of parents hire you?
You know, I would say more than anything, it's really the parents of 6th to 12th graders that really care about their child's education. I think across America, what's really important for parents is really helping their child just achieve the best. And I think as any parent, you know, can tell you, the most valuable thing that you can give your child is really options in life. And so for us, we really work with two demographics of students, right? The first are students that are high academic achievers, as we call them. And so these are students that are going to get all A's, they have a top GPA and SAT score. And for them, it's really preventing them from getting rejected by a top university. And the reason for that is having a top GPA and SAT score no longer guarantees admission even into a top 25 school. And I think that's what shocks a lot of these parents. And the second type of student are students that don't have the best GPA and SAT scores. And for them, it's really about helping them get into a better university than they otherwise thought was possible. Now, the good news is that here in the United States, we have what we call a holistic admissions process. And that's just a long way of saying you can get into a better university, right? Your GPA and SAT score don't necessarily dictate the universities that you have to attend, right? So the truth is, it's easier than most parents and students think, and that's exactly what we've done here for the last 15 years for our families.
So what would be one piece of advice you would give, like the first piece of advice you give to a family? Take your time, be prepared, like what would you say?
You know, I would say more than anything, right? I think when it comes to working with these students, you know, even from just a strategy perspective, right? I think the goal that we always have here is to really help the child become the best possible version of themselves. I think there's this really, you know, common misconception that what's most important is that you have to be like hyper intelligent, right? It's all about pure intelligence to get into a really good college, when in reality, and this is the advice I would give any parent or student, is that it's really about giving the child as much time as possible, right? Time is what allows for a child to figure out what their strengths are, exponentially grow those strengths, and then continue doing that over enough time so they can really stand out in the admissions process.
Well, super interesting. I'm going to be living it very soon. So thank you so much, Kevin.
No problem. Thank you, Jane.
Thanks.
The Sustainable Green Team is a leading provider of environmentally conscious solutions in the arbor care, disposable, and recycling industry. We are a green manufacturer of green waste to usable product solutions. We recently partnered with VRM Biologic, which has manufacturing and distribution rights for the world-leading soil moisture technology, Huma Soil. Find us on OTCQX as the stock ticker SGTM. The time to invest in the future of sustainability is now for this generation and future generations.
Here at Grove Coin, we're opening doors, building strong and blazing our own trail. We're combining a complete digital finance ecosystem with cutting-edge sustainable technology to create a new kind of hybrid business. We believe in a healthier future, and that virtual currencies built with trust, integrity, and purpose can help us all reach that future together. Grove Coin. Be a part of the innovators, be a part of the visionaries, be a part of the future.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Verify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SKUR. Visit SKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
The Sustainable Green Team is an emerging provider of environmental solutions in various situations, and also a wholesale creator and supplier of mulch and also lumber. And with me is the CEO, Tony Raynor, to talk about the company. You've got all kinds of exciting things that you've been doing lately, uplisting as well to the OTC. So explain that and how you got there.
Yeah, so this has been quite the journey. We've been OTC Pink for a few years now, and we finally made the plunge to go ahead and go to the OTCQX. So we were able to do that, and it was a great experience for our team.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it was really exciting to be able to accomplish that.
What does that mean then for the business? What will you be able to do that you weren't when you were
Well,
on vacation?
it's more transparency to the public.
Okay.
It opens up for more investors to be able to invest in our stock as well. And so it's just taking us up to the next level, before we decide to do anything beyond that.
Yeah, okay, great. So, and you just had a global vision meeting, which it was in Orlando with your leadership team, and a lot of exciting, innovative announcements were made there, correct?
I got to tell you, there was some power in the room there. We had a great time. You know, after everything we've accomplished together, it's really the power that we have that's within our team.
Yeah.
And to be able to have that much excitement and electricity into one group together, it was, really excites us to be able to launch into 23 and having a vision strategy to be able to release that right before you go into it.
Yeah.
It's good to see around the curve.
Sure, and have kind of a plan. I mean, it doesn't always stick to plan, but at least have some plan is always a good idea. Now, we have talked to VRM Biologic a couple of times. They're doing some really interesting things with soil. Do you have an update on your partnership with them? How's that going?
Yeah, now that has been another great accomplishment that this year. It took quite some time to build up to this place, but our catalyst that we're building a facility in Jacksonville, Florida, and so the catalyst that we have that actually incubates our fiber has just started coming in out of the ocean, and it's been delivered to our facility, and so we're going to be able to really get this thing in motion for 23.
Yeah.
And so we're excited about that too.
And this is the wood fiber for the humus soil.
Correct.
Right. So, okay, so tell everybody what that's all about and why that's an important initiative.
Well, the Sustainable Green Team has multiple subsidiaries that are vertically integrated. And so our model really in wood waste collection, diverting the pressure off of landfills and taking this catalyst that VRM Biologic has and being able to adhere it to the wood fiber, whether that's through trees, whether like Hurricane Ian that we just went through in Florida. And so we have hundreds of thousands of cubic yards of product. And actually we got a little clip right now we can show of that.
And then next year, you've got a lot of green leader segments as well. So I'm looking forward to can you give me kind of a teaser? Who are we going to be talking to next year?
Yeah, so, if you've seen a little bit of the vision strategy video that we have and the amount of excitement we have there, and there's new partnerships that we have with VRM and whatnot, it's really about educating the industry and bringing together experts from around the world. And this green leader segment is going to be powerful. We believe it's going to be a movement where we can help show people to be more responsible in the environmental movement of less carbon footprint and to be able to help convert what some thinks is right with composting and show them our new groundswell process to making humus soil.
Yeah.
And so the green leader is going to be out there in the public, and we're going to be bringing in people from around the world that are going to be able to talk and share and help us through that.
Interesting. All right. Well, I look forward to it. An exciting 2023.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Tony.
The Sustainable Green Team is a leading provider of environmentally conscious solutions in the arbor care, disposable, and recycling industry. We are a green manufacturer of green waste to usable product solutions. We recently partnered with VRM Biologic, which has manufacturing and distribution rights for the world-leading soil moisture technology, HumaSoil. Find us on OTCQX as the stock ticker SGTM. The time to invest in the future of sustainability is now for this generation and future generations.
Here at Grove Coin, we're opening doors, building strong and blazing our own trail. We're combining a complete digital finance ecosystem with cutting-edge sustainable technology to create a new kind of hybrid business. We believe in a healthier future, and that virtual currencies built with trust, integrity, and purpose can help us all reach that future together. Grove Coin. Be a part of the innovators, be a part of the visionaries, be a part of the future.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Verify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SKUR. Visit SKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
This is your Sekur Privacy and Security segment, along with Alain Ghiai, the CEO of Sekur. Welcome, Alain.
Thanks, Anna. Happy to be here.
All right, so our weekly hack topic today is about this privacy policy that I'm constantly getting in my emails. I'm getting it from where I make my car payment, from where I order photos, from where I send money. It's coming from a lot of businesses that I don't even really use as well. So what is in this privacy policy? Because I sure am not going to read it.
Well, I don't think you're the only one. Nobody's reading those privacy policies because they're fine print. It's basically done by legislators and lawyers. And it's mostly a disclaimer because there's so much hacking happening right now. Well, it's been going on for decades plus, but it's more and more. And then there's also these companies that were data mining you to no end. So as regulations come up, there's a California privacy policy, there's GDPR in Europe, we have the Swiss privacy policy, of course, at Sekur, which is the strictest in the world, the data privacy, and then there's other probably states that will come up with it. These companies, especially US, are updating their privacy policy to comply with such and such policy. At the end of the day, there may be a little bit more what they call privacy, which is not really privacy. It's essentially the way they sell or resell your data and how they basically collect it, for example. Basically you can't use any software unless you accept the terms of use. In there, it will tell you that it's going to collect some data to improve the service for you. But the reality, especially all these big tech firms, they basically collect your data to resell it because they're like advertising agencies. That's what it is, right? So I mean, the biggest of all of them is making $1 trillion on these things.
Right. So basically the privacy policy that they're sending us is basically saying that our data is not private.
Yeah, it's a roundabout way to say, please accept our terms. and that way we can comply with such and such. So it's not private how you and I would understand it. They're still going to data mine you and potentially resell that data.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk a little bit about SKUR, right? It's non-big tech, Swiss hosted, which is extremely important, privacy communications platform, and it's offering email and messenger without data mining and soon a VPN. So tell us a little bit about it, Alain.
Yeah, so the company, I mean, at SKUR, our DNA, the culture of the company is privacy already. So everybody that's involved, they're all shareholders of the company. Whenever we launch a product or a feature, we always have privacy in mind. So it goes beyond just obeying a law or having more secure servers. It's really every kind of function that we put in has your privacy in mind. So when you have the DNA of a company and the culture of company that has privacy in mind, it really helps, right? Because then you come up with new ideas that will improve your privacy. So yes, we offer a messenger, an email, a privacy feature like Secure Send, Secure Reply. You can chat with people who don't have Secure through chat by invite, and you're basically providing yourself, the sender, and the recipient who doesn't even have Secure, the same privacy and security. Great for small and bigger businesses, great for individuals. We have subscribers signing up on a daily basis. A lot of them are just regular people like you and I. And then we have small businesses as well that are signing up and migrating their email domain to our hosting as well.
Well, I would be very curious, even though I am a user, but what your privacy policy is all about, and if you send it to your the people who are using your services.
Well, you know, the other thing that we don't do is monitor what you do, because there's these heat maps, they call them, and they monitor where you go on the website, what do you do internally, etc. You know, we're pretty simple. We have an end user license agreement, which you have to click to accept. Some of that has to do with your cancellation policy, you're older than 13 and things like that. But really the privacy policy is simple. We don't data mine you. That's it. I mean, it should be simple. It's your privacy is our priority. We simply do not sell or rent your email or your information. The fact that we can't even get your info on top of it, but basically your email and info, like first name, whatever, anything you may put in there, we do not sell it. It's simple. That's what we do. We keep your data private. That's our policy.
Well, privacy has arrived with SKUR. For our listeners, do you have a promo code for them today?
We do, and ironically enough, it's called privacy. So, you know, we try to keep things simple because then it's just easier. When it's more complicated, there are more hidden things behind things that are complicated. So put promo code privacy, get 15% off for yearly or monthly. If you buy a yearly package, you already have 2 months off. So I think the total can be like 32% off the whole package.
Wonderful. Always learning so much with you, Alain. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you, Anna. Don't forget, go to sekur.com, put promo code privacy. Have a nice week.
Thanks for watching, everyone.